What's up, YouTube? I know what you're thinking. 2 videos in 2 days. What is going on here? Well, what's going on is that my last video got like the worst start ever. I guess the people have spoken and you guys don't like two simple GTO trainer videos in a row. So it kind of left me unsatisfied. I can't just, I need some views, I need some likes. So I decided to make another quick video here and to talk about a subject that pops up all the time. So shout out to LP who commented on my last video and he asked, "Hi Carl, do you think there is still merit to start implying GTO play?" Yeah, playing GTO play, I guess. So do you think there's still merit to play GTO versus reg that don't play balanced range on 25 NL or 50 NL? Well, the easy answer is that in order to know how to exploit an unbalanced player, you need to know what the baseline strategy should look like. So, almost by definition, in order for you to exploit somebody, you need to study GTO, have some knowledge of some GTO basic concepts. But okay, we can go a bit deeper here because GTO definitely still has its pitfalls as well. Nobody's playing a real GTO, and GTO offers like a false sense of security. You're thinking you're balanced while you aren't, or you study solver sims and don't draw the right conclusions, or you misapply the concepts you think you got out of them. So studying GTO and getting totally lost in that theoretical rabbit hole, that's also not the way to go. That's not practical anymore. You need to find some balance, some balance between studying theory and practically applying it and being able to apply it. So some people totally get lost in that theoretical rabbit hole and they lose like the practical application. It's like the academics of poker who are out of touch with the reality of playing. So should you try to play GTO versus a reg that don't play balanced? I'd say of course not. Exploit the heck out of him. But as I mentioned, study some GTO baseline strategies in order for you to know how to exploit him. But that's only one part of the answer. I think the real question here that people aren't asking but are implying is that what is the best way to teach a player to become better, to coach a player from scratch? So some people say GTO sucks and they will teach new players some exploitative tricks that they can apply at lower stakes. And those tricks work, those exploits work because people suck. But this doesn't really build the deeper theoretical understanding of our new player. He just learns these exploitative tricks and then he starts moving up and people might start to play back and he's a bit lost because he didn't really know why, how, or when he was doing all this stuff. He just had a bag of tricks that tended to work and will probably work on a lot of stakes, but at some point you want to be able to adjust to the new reality of the new stakes you're playing at. That's like one side of approaching the coaching aspect. But I think at Upswing, we try to come up with a more balanced view at the game. The Upswing core strategy is not GTO, but it is a simplified framework to start thinking about your range and how to make a play with a certain hand and see where it fits in your range versus villain's range, trying to make the right plays with the right hand, and just keeping your full range in mind and making better decisions that way. And of course, when you pick up on a leak, exploit. There's nobody saying you shouldn't. I guess the counter GTO argument is that these GTO people they try to bluff versus players who aren't folding, and Yeah, well, that's just okay. That maybe that's a risk when the GTO player gets so far up in the clouds of perfect poker theory and he should bluff here because blah 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 blah. That's his fault. That's not inherent to GTO play. The GTO player is still allowed to make exploitative adjustments when he has the correct reads. And yes, I'll admit it, sometimes I make a call that I think is GTO when my gut says I should know better. But in poker, we try to fight some initial impulses because that's how people make mistakes. You try to be more rational, and yes, after many years of training, your intuition will rock and you can trust your gut a bit more. But intuition is also something not you can coach people with. So that's something that grows after you have a deeper understanding of the theory and have just put in tons and tons of hands, and then maybe you find some spots where people are overfolding or under bluffing and you just go with your gut a bit more. So that's just a level of unconscious competence that sometimes you know what the play is but you can't really put it into words. Or it's also like playing in the zone where you don't need to actively think about every decision anymore. You just go with the flow and decisions come naturally to you. So to quickly sum it up, basically, yes, of course, knowing GTO benefits you from even playing against players who are unbalanced. No, GTO does not force you to play or try to play GTO when you know that an exploit is more profitable. And three, the question is basically which approach is the best way to teach a newer player? Are you gonna give him a bag of exploitative tricks, or are you gonna try to build a solid fundamental game that he can build upon himself and come to exploitative conclusions himself? I think clearly at Upswing Poker we are trying to make a player be able to make new decisions and explore the game himself. Basically, be an independent thinker that can build on a solid foundation of theory. And everybody is definitely encouraged to exploit whenever they get the chance. The money comes from people who make mistakes. Okay, anyways, if you like this quick video, leave a like, hit subscribe, and all that good stuff. See you guys in the next one.